title of the album.
Oh,
Like the picture came first, and then we were like, okay, well, probably blow. Like I hadn't even connected like me blowing a kiss to the term blow until later. I like put the two together. That was kind of like the thinking behind the title. It was like open-ended.
mhm.
There would be like this open-ended interpretation and a sort of like Rorschach test, you know.
Brilliant.
I wanted it to like reflect the viewer's thoughts back to them. Like, was your first thought dirty, naughty? Was it gentle? Like, there's so many different interpretations, and I kind of wanted to play on that a little.
My first interpretation was naughty, but I loved that about myself and I wanted to know more.
Hmm.
And then as
Yeah,
I
yeah,
listened,
great.
I was like, okay, this is beautiful. I mean, even in Wet, there's, some parts of it are naughty, but it's up to the listener. So I like that.
Uh-huh.
There's a rawness in your voice, like you recorded it either mid breakthrough or mid breakdown, and I'm obsessed with it. And I'm also
Hmm.
wondering, what was happening during the making of this?
During my divorce in 2021, I went through like this really traumatic divorce, and a lot of the songs were written as kind of just like they helped me survive, they kept me going. And then later the band, we didn't record anything until 2023.
Hmm.
And I was pregnant and I had just had a baby, and we actually, when we went in the studio, we had the baby with us, and he was only a few months old. And so like we recorded everything, and it was just like a really special time in my life to be able to, like, we're in the control room listening back to these tracks that we had done, and I'm nursing. And so there was like this, I think probably what you're hearing is like I had just birthed a child. And so some of the vocals on the tracks are actually live takes, which I was really happy about.
Here's how it goes. The story starts slow. It's kinda boring. I'll speed up the lines to help it unwind. Are you following the trail of sugar in the grass? Chasing it like ants. Wondering why your past is hiding in the shadows.
It makes me want to listen to it all over again and just
Mhm.
kind of envision your new baby in the studio with you guys. The lyrics, throughout the album are coded, and just like with the title of the album, it's really up to the listener what they're going to get from that. And
Mhm.
a good example is you can't blow the glass house down if you're inside it. When
Mhm.
you write, do you write to confess or to hide or more to just deal with it and process things?
For me, it's always been to process. There's always this curiosity when I'm approaching songwriting. Like, I want to, like, what does my subconscious want to tell me today when I sit down and write? Because there's always like these things that I don't actually know what's going on. And that's just always been my process since a little kid. I've written lots of songs, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's always been a special part of me and growing up.
When do you feel that moment of like, oh my gosh, this is my own medicine, when you listen to it back or when you're making it?
It's more when I'm making it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like I'll write a song, and sometimes a song can take 5 minutes. Sometimes a song can take 3 years. Like, you never know.
Mhm.
It depends on the song. It's like whatever I'm going through. By the time the song is done, like looking back through the lyrics, oh, this is this is what I meant. But
Yeah.
there always is like this sort of relief, feeling like energetically sad, or like too much energy. If I sit down with songwriting, then it always kind of like calms that.
Did your background or upbringing bleed into the way that you write songs?
So I have this memory of being 5 years old with like a silver tape recorder, and I would, even at 5 years old, I would record my own songs and then listen back over and be like, okay, I need to like edit that, and just feeling really good doing that. And then later on in like my high school years, I would just spend hours in my room writing writing songs, and the show Star Search.
From Hollywood, the entertainment capital of the world, it's the 1986 competition of Star Search with your host, Ed McMahon.
Okay, I was obsessed with this song, with this show, Star Search, and I wanted to be on the show so bad. And so I would write hundreds and hundreds of songs, and many of them not good at all. But I feel like that's being able to craft a good song, you know.
Yeah.
I grew up in a cult, so like we couldn't listen to a lot of
Wow.
music. So growing up, I listened to a lot of like old musicals and Barbara Streisand and a lot of Christian pop.
Okay. Yeah.
And then right, and then it wasn't until I divorced that I started like listening to a larger library of music, and I discovered that rock and roll was kind of just like I'm made to make rock and roll. Like I love every decade, and it's been a really delightful to discover these bands in my 30s that are from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I never
same.
knew about this band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like there's some naivety to my music in that way.
I was listening to it in the shower this morning, and I'm just, I'm going to be 40 soon,
Uh-huh.
and it's okay that you're making me fangirl, like someone that used to
Yeah.
in the 90s. It's kind of exciting.
Uh-huh. Okay, good.
You mentioned being raised in a cult thing when you were kind of segmented into that. Did you get any
Mhm.
relief from that music? Did you know that it wasn't? I mean, are there songs of Barbara Streisand that you listen to today that still hit you, or does it have a different effect?
Yeah, no, I love old musicals. Listen to Christian pop now, listen to a lot as Reliant.
Mm,
I feel like they still stand up
yeah.
today, but these songs in my room would be like, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, like I didn't have a guitar. Like how was I didn't have electric guitar. How am I gonna get there? But I knew like I'm gonna play heavy music, even though it was like not super heavy kinds of music. I don't listen to like hymns or any like super religious music anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
What is something that you would maybe tell someone today that's maybe active in a cult or dealing with trying to escape a marriage that they're not really fond of?
that's a hard one. I feel like it really depends on the person. They have to get to a certain point before they will hear any advice from the outside world.
Yeah.
Especially when you're stuck in like a cult or an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
We play a lot of like mind games and keep ourselves in that. Yeah, I would say that if your body feels unsafe or not good in any situation, that you deserve to feel better and free. And yeah, there's safe spaces all over, and if you're not in a safe space, you're allowed to get into a safe space.
What impact do you want your music to make after someone's listened to it for the first time?
I think once the music is released, I just kind of let it do its thing. I never had a goal to be like, oh, I want it to, I want everybody to think this
That's fair.
from this record. It's up to everybody's interpretation at this point. Like I've just dated the baby of this album, and the umbilical cord has been cut, and now it's out in the world. Like it's its own thing. And my goal is kind of just to approach everything in music with curiosity. So I love everybody's interpretation and what they've said about the album, the things they've gotten out of it. It's been really a cool process.
That seems really healthy too, because then there's no like obsessing over it, or I mean, it's really the best way to part with something and let
Hmm.
it grow and help other people grow. It really does sound like you're trying to rebuild yourself from the ashes, but you're still unsure about maybe what your next move's going to be or what you've yet to become, what your next step is in life. Was that
Hmm.
intentional or just like healing in the process?
I think that was definitely just part of the healing, like the songs being as old as they were and from like the difficult time in my life. I think that's very, very present. And there is like this specific thread in the way that I arranged the songs that I hope that the listener will hear, you
Mhm.
know. Like the lyrical content of the songs, like they're definitely, to me, there's like a story that runs through it.
Mhm. Do you ever feel like you've ever, before you put something out, that you feel like it's going to be too risky, but you put it out anyway, or just go with it anyway?
So there were like moments in the studio where you get like song blindness from listening in the mixing phase.
Yeah.
And like you've listened to it so many times, and then you're like, this fucking sucks. Like nobody's gonna like this. And that was the only time where I was like, I don't know about like what is this? And so I did like we mixed it and then we had it mastered and then I think I sat on it for like maybe a month before I listened to it again because I was just like I can't keep listening to this. I think it's bad. And then I listened again. I had to like review the mastering and I was like this is fucking good.
Yes.
So there's like I don't know, there's moments where you're like I don't know about this, but but then it all comes together and you're like okay, I like it.
Yeah.
If I like it and I'm enjoying it, then I want to share it with everyone.
It's a long shot in the dark, right from birth, drunken high, lies down, move through a canyon, lantern hanging, kerosene wafting.
If you're there for superficial reasons or, trying to
Hmm.
sell things or do things that come from a weird space, people are going to sniff that out. So I think that
Hmm.
even more so, your music's going to affect people because it's not like you're out there saying, spending a ton of ads on Spotify or
Yeah,
what have you, like pushing your album
yeah.
to me. I just found it.
That's how I'd want it to be.
Um, so I mean, have you been approached by labels?
No, we haven't been approached by any labels.
If you were to be, like, what would be your dream record label? Are there any off the top that you're just like, I really like their vibe, their energy, or the artists that they represent?
Yeah, it'd be Matador Records,
Ooh,
100%. Yeah.
okay. Okay. I like it. I was not expecting
Yeah.
that one. Okay, good call.
They're kind of like, not super huge, kind of in the middle, like not too small.
Right.
I love a lot of the artists that they represent.
What's something you wish listeners knew about the reality of being an unsigned artist and being heard in this day and age?
I think probably being on social media is the worst part of the game. To me, like if you find a band that you truly love their music and appreciate their music, you should go buy it
Right.
and you should share it
Right.
and like give it to all your friends. Like take it back to like the early 2000s where we were like burning all these CDs of our favorite bands, and passing them around. Like I
Absolutely.
feel like that does so much more than what sharing online does.
That's a way that, like, me as a new fan or new fans maybe hearing this in the future, that's a way that we can actually help or make a difference to you specifically, is like getting on Bandcamp and like we like blow so much that we're going to share it.
Yeah, totally. I swear, like if each person told 7 friends about our band, and then those 7 people told 7 of their friends, like that would really do so much more, I think, than liking something on social media.
It's weird to say, but they do feel like friends in this music community on social media because we're
Hmm.
we're actively out there supporting artists. We're not trying to get a $10 CD. Like we'll spend $40 on a record, and I feel like that's
Uh-huh.
just an art that's fading away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone just wants to stream something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I feel like there's certain scenes, like I feel like the punk scene is still alive,
hmm
like here in our town at least. Like the punk shows are the most packed shows that you will go to. And it is today, it is really hard to get somebody to actually come to a show. So coming to a show, like that's a huge, huge ask and a huge like thank you if you show up to one of our shows, you know.
I was gonna ask, it seems like a silly question, but if the album was a character on TV, who would it be?
I think it's probably Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Okay.
That's a hard one though. Like I was like, I don't know, but I think yeah, probably her.
Okay, unassuming, but like she will kick your fucking ass. Okay. I
Right?
I love it. If someone had only 3 minutes to understand you, if you were trying to sell them Blow in like a minute, what track would you make them listen to?
Probably Blow.
Okay.
Bailey Hoover did the bass part for that song, and they did just an amazing job. And it gets everybody every time. Like I think that's the thing. They're like, oh, that bass part, whoa.
hmm
So that's probably the song I would play for them.
Blow me like the wish in New York. Blow me like a cigarette plume. Blow me at the sex strawberry tart. Blow me, I'm like wax on a cake. Blow me, watch the music we make. Blow me, I'm a quiver insane. Blow me like I'm something living. Blow me.
And this summer, yeah, we're excited about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
You know how some videos kind of highlight like the scenery and stuff?
No, we actually wrote a screenplay for it, so we're kind of like working on like budgets and like what we can and can't do, you know, because we have like big dreams.
Yeah, you're
So
killing me.
yeah,
That's
it'll
awesome.
be yeah. I'm a big like I love when a music video has like a storyline to it. That's really important to me. So
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do.
I'm so happy that you took my call and talked music with me. I feel like I fell in love with the album even more. I listened to it back. I'm going to think of you just having a baby and birthing this whole thing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been so nice
Oh my
chatting about
gosh.
the album.